well, that brings us perhaps to the Champions League. I saw Richard Dunn on RT during the week, Liam, sitting in your chair. He wasn't actually, he was sitting in John's old chair. Richard said that he thought they could possibly win the Champions League. He said certainly get to the semi-final stages, get to the last four. Now, I looked at a lot of Champions League football this season, and on Wednesday night I watched Juve and Barcelona, who left Messi on the bench for the first 45 minutes. And really, Barca are, despite the fact that they're I think 8 points clear of, or maybe 10 points clear of Madrid now, they really aren't a good side, Liam. And Juve looked old. Higuain not doing it, didn't look impressive at all. So it isn't inconceivable, I put it to you, Liam, that City actually could win the Champions League.
Well, you're going to laugh at me now, Eamon, but I think any of the English teams can win the Champions League. Well,
funny enough, Roy Keane and you share the same view. Roy Keane said on ITV that he thought that Manchester United would be, as he put it, competitive against anybody in this competition. That is the Champions League. And that was after they'd lost 1-0 to Basel on Tuesday night or Wednesday night. So
yeah, if you go over the last 10 years, let's say, of the Champions League, we've probably seen two super teams, haven't we? We've seen Barcelona when Guardiola was in charge. They were absolutely brilliant. I think they won 2 Champions Leagues. And then Bayern Munich, maybe only for a couple of seasons, but they were really strong. They looked way ahead of anything else.
And also now, Real Madrid in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I was just going to put, they've won it the last 2 years, but you know, every time I look at them, I think they've been fortunate to win it because there hasn't certainly been a competitive element from England. I think the English teams have been poor in the last 10 years. But I think they've turned the corner a bit now. And I think with the recruitment that they've had and bringing all the top players from all over the world playing for the English teams, I really think now that there's a big chance that an English team is going to win it. And you have to put City on top of that list. Well, I think when it's a knockout competition, Eamon, you know, yep. And then, you know, we've seen Atletico Madrid, you know, get to the finals and with organisation, with that team spirit, you know. So I really think an English team could win it this year, and you'd have to put City as the number one candidate.
Yeah, I think in the case of Atletico Madrid, for sure, Liam, a rock solid defence. I'd also have to say that they may not qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League. John, Manchester United, Chelsea and Liverpool and Spurs, of course, are the 4 English teams. And the point Liam makes is right, I think, because if you look around the big clubs in Europe...
5, Eamon, there are 5 English teams.
Sorry, of course, yeah. Did I forget? Who did I forget?
Well, I don't mind you forgetting Spurs, but they are playing in it.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. But anyway, the point is that the big European clubs, for one reason or another, are struggling.
Yeah. Well, I think, as we know in football, Eamon, it comes and goes. You know, you have the year of Barcelona and teams dominating. Even in the world, you know, you had Brazil at one time, Brazil in the last World Cup. That happens. And I think it's more the demise of the quality in Europe rather than the English clubs improving that much. So I think they have improved, but because Real Madrid are not doing what they did, as Liam mentioned there, Barcelona, Bayern Munich are not doing what they did. Obviously, it gives the English teams a better chance, and especially with Manchester City coming on in the way that they have. So they definitely have a better chance than ever before. But again, if you had Barcelona at the best, Real Madrid at the best, then it's a different game altogether. But it comes and goes. Every country or every international team have their particular time. It doesn't last forever, and it hasn't lasted forever in Spain. Look at the national team in Spain compared to what it was. That's the way it goes in football. It just doesn't last forever. So I think from the English point of view, the British team's point of view, or the English League, Premier League team, the demise of Real Madrid, Barcelona,
Yeah.
gives them a better chance.
Yeah, I mean, the Barca, you watched a bit of the Barca-Juve game, I think, Liam. Juve just, Chiellini didn't play, but they were poor, Liam.
Well, they've got old. It's a bit like the Italian team, haven't they? They got old together. You know, they Buffon and the defence he had in front of him. They're all getting on in years, and Juventus are gonna. They're making some changes already, and they're bringing players in. But you know, it takes time, and you know they haven't got the money that the English clubs have. You see, because of the money generated by the Premier League. Is giving the English clubs a chance to buy the players that maybe Juventus would be getting. So, you know, I think Juventus have done really well to be competitive in the Champions League because of the money that doesn't exist anymore in Italy compared to other clubs.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've got the 2 finals. They lost both finals. But I think they've done well. But I can't see them being real contenders this year. I wouldn't rule PSG out of it, Eamon. You know, with the players they've got up front. I know you've got doubts about their midfield, but I think they've got a chance as well. So
yeah,
it makes for an interesting Champions League. I think you probably get. I think all 5 English teams could top their group. You know, even Liverpool. You're going to laugh now, but you know they could.
I am laughing. I'm a Liverpool fan, but. I think Liverpool fans will be laughing. Liam, you saw.
Yeah, but look, we're giving Liverpool stick probably most weeks because you're not addressed the defensive problems they have. But it looks like they're going to top their group, you know.
Yeah.